Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be part of the Killer series, which is either Terran Killer or Protoss Killer. I'll try not to reveal that, so maybe there's a surprise at the end of who wins. KTF versus SKT, I'm trying to remember if this is, I think this is the second round of 2007, I don't know. I tried to look it up and just to figure out the map because I couldn't remember what the map was. This is actually just as I was getting into Star League. These are the matches that were happening. Iloveoov starting in the upper left-hand corner as the purple Terran, bottom left-hand corner we have Nalra as the teal Protoss, and I had a lot of recommendations for the Star Killer series. I'm not sure if this is what you guys were after, but if not, just give me a PM, tell me what you actually want to see, and link me, and I'll do those games. So, in fact, any requests like that, just PM them to me, and I'll try to get as many requests done as possible, because I enjoy sharing games and excitement with you guys. That's why I commentate, and when it's games you guys like to see, that makes it just all the more fun. And unfortunately, huge text in that bottom right hand corner, Protoss Killer. So despite the throngs of Nalra fans, it looks like he is going, it's been fated, he will in fact get face stomped most likely. And it looks like this is played on the 15th of May in 2007, so almost 2 years ago from this date. Few days off. Looks like Iloveoov going for the front door. This is on Nemesis, and Nemesis is a terrible map for Protoss because Terran there's a base behind each. There's two more expansions, by the way, or two more starting spawns. Bottom right hand corner and the upper right hand corner. We'll see if Nalra scouts the proper direction. But Terran, they have, well, everyone has an expansion behind their base that's completely protected, so you really don't have to worry about it. And when you have a free expansion that can't be harassed, that's just so advantageous for Terran players against Protoss players. And that's not, you do not want to give any sort of macro edge to Iloveoov. Iloveoov really revolutionized the game because his macro was so strong, and it looks like Nalra did scout the proper direction. He is going to be able to be somewhat annoying with that probe scout, just going in, trying to stop that barracks from going up. He will get a pretty good look here, and I don't think the Zealot can come out in time really to follow this up, because sometimes what happens on the closer position maps, you can use that probe to try to block that gap open, and you can kind of threaten a gas steal. And because they usually don't want to get that supply depot down before that gas steal, sometimes if you've done a proxy and you do a good job blocking with your probe, you can run in with it. And it looks like Nalra actually going for an expansion right off one gate, so trying to play the economic game. Nalra known for his creativity, not known to be a macro beast comparative to Iloveoov. Iloveov's really the guy who sneaks expansions and then adds a couple factories on, and then all of a sudden he's ahead in expansions when people didn't expect it. He just took it at kind of odd times and added factories on immediately. So players are expecting to see 3 bases worth of units, and then they end up seeing 4, and they're like, holy crap, you cheater. Hence the nickname Cheater Terran. I believed into him by Firebat Hero officially. So, but yeah, again, not a very good map for Protoss. You really have to get greedy with your economy, and if your Terran opponent decides to be aggressive whatsoever, it can be very difficult for you to accomplish anything. So we'll see what Nalra's up to. I would not put it past Nalra to be very creative on this map. I actually haven't seen this game in particular. This is when I wasn't paying all that hardcore attention to the pro scene. I was watching games here and there, but mostly Nada and Stork, and a little bit of Savior. This is actually during Savior's ascendancy, I believe. Right around this time period. This is when people were starting to find out that he was really, really good, and it was scary how good he was going to turn out. This entire year, he just started crushing everyone. And I think maybe it's Bisu started up, I think, in another 2 months from now. But up to this stage, Savior, complete terror. Skipping Dragoon range, sending out a Zealot to try to press that front door, I guess, or maybe just to or do a little bit of scouting once this probe dies. Looks like that probe was eaten alive by that Marine off screen. We didn't see him actually physically pick up the probe and shove it down his throat. Iloveoov, even though he had 3 SCV on gas, delaying that command center a bit, but giving the impression to Nalra that he was going for maybe additional factories that could throw, actually looks like he was just bringing that Zealot to block off his ramp, that could throw Nalra off a little bit. And again, Nalra not upgrading range, so might be trying to go to quick 3 expansions to just make sure he maintains his economic lead as long as possible. And again, the problem with this is if Iloveoov decides to get aggressive, it's just so hard, especially with a big open area map like this, to hold it off. There are additional expansions at the 9, at the 3 upper ramp, and at the 12 and 6, I think it's island only expansions. So I'm surprised that Nalra's not going for that. He didn't put down his robotics facility. There it is. Okay, skipping gas to get the early robotics facility. You really do need to go for a robotics facility on this map. It's very helpful to take your 3rd either at the 6 or the 12 because it's protected, and additionally to go Reavers, to try to harass that back base to use it for defense. Nice dodge. You see that? She was only on camera for like half a second there. And a quick armory from Iloveoov. He knows that Reaver harass is going to come sooner rather than later, so he's going to try to go for quick weapon upgrades and also get a couple Goliaths to kind of assist those tanks. And whenever you have a couple tanks and a couple Goliaths, that just makes them so much stronger. It looks like that Academy also going down to do a bit of scouting. And it looks like it's just going to be a macro fest from here. Iloveoov at 2 bases versus 2 bases will end up ahead. So it's going to be up to Nalra to get something done. He's either going to have to get some sort of economic harassment or maybe steal a quick 2. I can't imagine him stealing quick. No, another nice dodge. Or steal another quick 2. Right now he's playing completely in the dark. He doesn't have any opportunity to see what Iloveoov's up to. And it'll be quite some time before he can do that as well. It looks like a probe scout damaged. I'm not quite sure from what. Maybe the probe scout did get out alive and I was misreading that kill. But the probe scout managing to check that upper right hand corner. Maybe thinking about putting down an expansion there. And now weapons 1 being upgraded for Iloveoov. And let's see if we see a couple Goliaths up stage putting down 2 comsat stations so he can keep a very close eye on Nalra. And honestly, that comsat station should be up before that Reaver's even inside Iloveoov's base. So Iloveoov should have a very good idea of specifically when the harass is coming, and also, and he's going starport alongside, so it looks like he might be going into drop. And he also, with the starport, he can go take the 12 or the 6 if he wanted to. So going to preempt Nalra here and his tactics, and it just feels like Iloveoov's just so far ahead. And this is again the advantage of not having to worry about harassment at all, except in the late game. Now range being upgraded. Again, there's just a lot you can do, an absolute huge amount of things that you can do. Actually, this is brilliant strategy from Iloveoov. He knows Nalra is most likely going to go for the 6 or the 12, so he might as well go to the air, and when Nalra cannot really cycle units to go help defend that, go and send units to take that out immediately. So really playing the map well, I would say here. It looks like that Reaver now waiting alongside. No Zealots, so it's just going to be that Reaver and that Reaver. Oh, nope, there's the 2 Zealots wandering up to join in the dropship party. And there's that command center going down. I don't think a Wraith was produced. And again, I thought we might see a couple Goliaths just because that army was put down a lot sooner, but it looks like it was solely for the purpose of the weapons 1 upgrade to maintain that, just get a pretty sizable weapons advantage. And a couple mines going behind the line, that's going to make it even more difficult. This is not a tactic you'd usually be able to do. Just because, the Reaver would be coming a lot. Well, first of all, you have to deal with harassment, otherwise you might be a little bit worried. Because that secondary is protected, Iloveoov will have a lot of preparation. It's going to be down to Nalra to kind of catch these mines, get his Reaver out of the way. Hopefully he doesn't plant it right on top of it, otherwise he could end up losing that Reaver very, very quickly. Looks like he's going to go for that back expansion first, and 4 Vultures going to wander into that dropship, and they're going to have a field day actually no matter where they go. If they go to that 6 o'clock, a science facility to make it even more difficult for that Reaver to drop. Oh, Reaver just, it looks like that Zealot was able to drop just in front of that Reaver, and he is going to be able to get some damage done. That SCV is definitely not going to live very long, and now that dropship headed out, just dodging the drone, that probe scouting, but Nalra able to get a significant amount of kills, 4 tanks moving back. Oh, careful. Oh, no. Okay, he did drop the Zealot first, so he's going to be okay. But using those Zealots to clear the mines exactly the way he should. Oh, a Wraith being produced. I love seeing Wraith. But what? Oh, one last shot. Killing all sorts of SCVs, and this is just putting... That was some beautiful harassment there by Iloveoov. Now it's up to Iloveoov to do some sort of economic harassment to try to balance this out. Nalra just got a lot of, I would say, lucky Scarab hits and just did a ton of damage with that. But now the Vulture's wandering in. Nalra did not see it at all, wandering his troops out of his base. Now going to try to turn around. They're not getting a lot of kills here, though. So it looks like they're going to try to chase back down, but only, it looks like 2 or 3 probe kills, maybe 4, before they're finally getting cleaned up. And honestly, compared to losing the 6 or 7 SCVs, actually, he's going to clean up the probe. Comparatively, I think Nalra is actually in a much better position, so Iloveoov's going to have to get something done. Nalra is going to end up economically ahead with this 3rd base by a sliver, by a hair. And it looks like a couple... Oh, that dropship... going to get picked off as well, so it's not going to be involved in any additional harassment. So Iloveoov in bad position. Now he's got the Goliath out, but he's got 4 tanks, and he does have weapons 1 on the way. It looks like he's putting down 5 more factories. He knows the situation, basically. He's got to run up, he's got to be aggressive, and he's got to do something. Either pin Nalra in, do some economic damage someplace to really even this out. Nalra, he can sit back and macro up, and I'm surprised he's not adding on. Looks like he's going to try to do that scout first, and he's sending out another shuttle, it looks like, to transfer some probes. He does have a cannon at the 6 o'clock position. I still feel like that's somewhat harassable, but yeah, Uvi's got to get something done. He's got to go. Looks like he's going to do a pretty heavy push. He does have that weapons 1 to support that. And Nara could end up in a bad situation because he's at 3 bases. He hasn't added on any gateways. And in the meantime, Uvi's just going to have a gigantic economy. He's the king of macro. He can pump up so many units with this. And it looks like he's already wandering a lot of vultures. He's also kind of keeping an eye on that 12 o'clock with that science facility. Looks like working his way towards weapons 2 as well. A single Wraith just kind of chilling back that edge. But it looks like Nara, the location he's playing. Ooh, careful. Oh, man, he's going to end up losing that Wraith. Yeah, ends up losing that Wraith along that 9 o'clock. So keeping that out of view. A couple Dragoons in position. And Vulture's wandering out in the field. Nara being a little bit overly aggressive. I don't know if he has any attack units at home base. And Nara not macroing up. He needs to be at more gateways at this stage to really keep up with the Uvi's